Hey, have you ever felt like no one in this world cares whether you exist or not? Or here's another one. Have you ever been around so many people and yet you just feel like you are alone? How about this one? Have you ever struggled to make friends in this world? Well, if that's you, let's have a conversation. Before I go on with this discussion, I just want to elaborate what a friendship is, especially to me. Now, you might have your own definition of what a friend is, but for me, a friend is somebody who can be with you in both the good times and the bad times. What do I mean by good times? You can go out on a beach day together, you can go to Disneyland together. It is somebody who you can capture great moments with. Someday you'll look back and laugh and say, hey, my good friend that I'm still friends with is we did this a long time ago. And of course the bad times when you lose a family member or you need financial assistance with something and you pay them back. That kind of person. And most importantly, that person, you are there for them in that way as well. They hear, oh, Taco is in danger, he needs help, and they say, okay, I'm gonna go help that person. I'm gonna go help him. And if you hear that my good friend is in danger, you will leave whatever you're doing and you go and help that person. Like a genuine friend. To me, that's what a good friend is. In this lifetime, I aspire to have at least just the one person, that is there for you in both the good times and the bad times. Apart from, the women that I'll marry, obviously, that has to be a thing. That has to be a qualification. But my God, making it sound like a degree. Apart from the women that I'll be with, obviously. But right now I'm talking about like a friend, somebody who is there for you in both the good times and the bad times, that you are there for in good times and bad times. As for me, on the other hand, I have struggled to make genuine connections with people. Now, don't get me wrong, I know how to make professional connections because as somebody who aspires to be a filmmaker, I know how to communicate with people. I can talk, hold a professional conversation, sure. But now I'm talking about a social sort of friendship where you meet people and you make that genuine friendship. Let's put it this way. When things go really bad, there is that one person you really think of, that's gonna come through for you. That kind of friend, But enough of that. Now, for me, it's not just about making friends that's really hard. It's just like making a basic human connection. Have you ever felt like you don't exist and people just don't care about you? No matter how much you show up, no matter how much you try, no matter how much you really speak and try to communicate with people, it just feels like people don't care about your existence. 8 billion people, and it just feels like no one cares about you. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever been in a room full of people? They know you exist. You know they exist. Like, they know your name. They know a little bit about what you do, who you are, kinda. And you know a little bit about them. But let's say you're sitting at a table with those people and the conversation just starts to go nowhere. You feel like you're disassociating, like you're not there. How about this one? Have you ever been in a room full of people and you're having a conversation with these people and in that conversation, they just treat you like you're not there. They just push you aside in the conversation and when you speak, you get ignored. Whatever you say doesn't matter. You just push to the side and you just don't matter. What you're saying doesn't matter. Have you ever been in that situation? What about when you really try, you're like, man, I'm tired of being lonely in a way. And don't get me wrong, I'm not afraid to go out and explore the world on my own. Done that a lot. Most of the time, most of the places I've been to, I just did them on my own. Have you ever been sick and tired of just being in this state where you feel like no one cares about your existence, you don't have any friends to reach out to or speak with? You try to speak with people and it doesn't work. I'm not saying for everybody, I'm just saying in my case. It doesn't work and then it just goes the same way. And then you reach out for professional help. Professional help, they'll tell you, why don't you try to open yourself up more? Why don't you reach out to more people? Why don't you, be in that state of mind where you are consciously and actively trying to make friends? Yeah, you take that advice as deeply as you can, both consciously and subconsciously. And then after that, yeah, it still the same thing happens. You try to make friends, and then maybe it works for a few weeks, and then after that it just doesn't work anymore. Have you ever been in a situation where you're trying to make friends, sure, and then after that, like, you really think this person is gonna be such a great friend to you? You have done things together, you have had dinner with other friends, you'll have gone to really amazing places together, and then after maybe some separation, days of separation, and then you try to reach out to that person, you send them a text because you have their number, and they just completely ignore you, like you don't exist anymore. This kind of stuff hurts. Hey guys, this is Editing Taku. Now, while I was listening to this, while I was editing, I was like, let me share another thing that really struck me with all these experiences. Right now, we live in the digital age, and I don't know if you've been in a situation where you're all in a group chat, right? And you have a friends group chat, and in this group chat, people all just send all kinds of crazy text, and they're talking, and they are having fun. And I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone, but like when you send a message, nobody responds to it. They just see it. You don't get a response, nothing. And then instantly when someone else like sends a message, they get instant response, and you're just there. And then it keeps happening all the time in group chats. Whenever you send a message, no one responds. Whenever someone else sends a message, they get instant response, multiple response, funny emojis, GIF stickers, and you're like, wait a minute, why do I always get ignored? What's happening in this group chat? And also, I've been in situations where I send messages to people and they just literally ignore it and never ever respond. People don't respond in group chats, your messages get ignored. Sometimes people say, oh, it's not even that deep. It's not even that deep. But when you're dealing with all of this in the real world and then online as well, you start to see a parallel of you getting ignored. It just starts to send a message to you as well and adds to your suffering that, oh, you're not well deserving of communication, and it really magnifies how lonely you are. For me, I haven't been able to find a solution to all of this lack of connection with normal people. I don't know the answer. At some point, I felt like I have this barrier around my body that, like, every time I try to make a friend or like talk to somebody, they just like dissociate, or they don't want, or they avoid, or they just like don't even want to be near me. And it's just like, yeah, this sucks. At some point, it just feels like you're all alone, and like no one wants to be near you. No one wants to conversate with you. No one wants to talk to you. No one wants to have fun with you. They just don't want to, and you don't know why. And you really try, you try to look at yourself and say, hey, is there something wrong with me? Do I make people feel a way that is horrible? And you just cannot find the answer. For me, at least, I give myself an analysis. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why does my energy repel people more than it attracts? I guess you're watching this and you want to know me and how I represent myself even online is that I'm the kind of person who likes saying please and thank you, I value kindness a lot. I wish people around the world were more kinder to each other. I wish there wasn't wars in this world. I really hate it. But obviously, I'm just a guy. I don't have the power to stop anything like that. I genuinely wish we were kinder to each other, irregardless of whatever race you are, or creed, or religion. I wish we were much more kinder to each other. I hate it when we fight. I hate it when we just have hatred conversations. I'm someone who would really hope to go above and beyond for people, but it's just that it feels really sad not to receive that energy back. So that's just a little bit about me. Nothing too crazy. I think a lot of people are like this. But anyways, this is something I've been struggling with for the past 5 years, more than 5 years, and it's something you are going to see in my films a lot. Speaking of films, the reason you're watching this video, I didn't make it so that you could feel sorry for me. No sir, no. Otherwise this video would never be made, trust. I did it because there were these feelings of loneliness and failing to make friends. I have made my first short animated film, 2 minutes 20 seconds. It's available on my other channel, Taku Media. And in this video that you're watching, you are gonna see the progress I took while making this short animated film. Spoiler alert, it's just me speaking. You're not gonna see me drawing. You're not gonna see me writing. I'm gonna do that later in other videos. We'll see how this video performs. Oh hey guys, Editing Taco back again. So in the video I really wanted you guys to see the process of me doing stuff, but unfortunately the video became 30 minutes long in the edits, and honestly I don't think anybody wants to watch 30 minutes of me speaking and doing stuff as well as this video. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna drop this as a 2-part video, hopefully separated by a week, giving people enough time to just watch it if they want to. And so this is the very end of this video that you're watching, and I promise the next video is going to drop. I just separated it on my editing timeline so that you can also watch it. But anyhow, with that being said, I thank you very much for taking your time in watching this video, and remember, it only gets better from here. See you next time.